Bom dia. Good morning, guys, from Rio de Janeiro. Yes, we're back. Let's go for it. We'll start the video. We're back in Rio de Janeiro. Final stop here of this Brazilian adventure. Now, the last time that we was here, we were mainly only in the favela in Vidigal, in the western edge of the city. And also we went to explore the famous Copacabana and some other beaches, which Rio is famous for. But apart from that, we've not really seen anything else of the city, so I've decided that this time I'll be staying on the other end of the city, in the eastern edge of the city, the Centro, the historic part of the city, the heart of the city, where Rio de Janeiro was built. So I'm currently in the area of Gloria, the old town of Rio, which is renowned to be like a nightlife area and also a bit of a rough area, like most centers of Latin American cities. But yes, another thing we didn't do, first piece of business today, another thing we didn't do last time in Rio was try out the metro. I've only been getting around on moto taxis the last time I was here, so now, first piece of business, let's hop to the closest metro station and check out Rio's metro system. And we've got to watch out not to fall over one of these homeless guys. The dark reality of Rio de Janeiro and Brazil in particular, unfortunately. Now, first impressions of Lapa or Gloria, whatever it is called. This is basically my first time outside. I've arrived a few hours ago, early in the morning. I've had a 3 a.m. flight from Salvador down here to Rio, and thus I've arrived at the hostel and just slept for 3 hours. Now it's my first time outside. First impressions of this area of Rio, of Old Town Rio, is that loads of homeless people around, loads of homeless people lying on the streets, and actually a lot more than up in the favela. That's my first impressions, so yeah, not the best ones, I reckon. Actually, when you think of Rio de Janeiro as a Westerner, as a European especially, probably also as an American, you'd think of Copacabana and Samba and Ipanema Beach. You'd think of the beaches, Ipanema, Copacabana, and of course also the favelas, which Rio is famous for. But people tend to forget, especially in the West, where was I? Before risking my life to cross the street to show you this statue here, this monument. Well, people tend to forget that Rio is also a very historical city. Rio was the second capital of Brazil. Salvador, where we was before, was the first capital of Brazil and oldest city for the first 200 years of colonial Brazil. And then in 17 something, in the 18th century, Rio became the capital. And Rio de Janeiro actually was only built a few years after, was only founded a few years after Salvador. And check out this building, guys, this monument, sorry. Built in 1900, I guess. Wowzers. Feels a lot different than the places of Rio we've been to so far, innit? This monument here, according to Google Maps, Google is always your friend, is basically commemorating the discovery of Brazil by Pedro Alves Cabral. One thing I also don't really like about this area of the city is that you see quite a lot of men that dress like women around here. I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, let's check out the metro and leave the historic area here, leave the area of Lapa or Gloria real quick to check out another very interesting place here in Rio, which I haven't seen yet, which we haven't seen yet, but which we have to see. And of course, let's check out the metro. Vamos! Wow, they put the AC to the max here. It's quite fresh inside here compared to the outside. But yeah, not as crowded as in Sao Paulo, so that's a good thing. So yeah, this is what the metro in Rio looks like. By the way guys, up in Salvador, I bought some new shoes. I replaced the old Fila by some brand new Lacoste. Check it out. My new trip. Let me know in the comments what you think of my new shoes. Right guys, we have arrived at our destination. A very important one for all you football fans out there. A place you cannot miss out on as a football fan when you come to Rio. Right guys, we've made it to one of the most legendary football stadiums in the entire world. The Maracanã. Check it out. Flipping beautiful. It's Brazil's biggest stadium and one of the biggest in the world, with a capacity of 80,000 people. And it is the home stadium of 3 Rio de Janeiro based teams. Flamengo, Fluminense, who recently won the Copa Libertadores, and Vasco da Gama. So 3 teams share, 3 clubs share this stadium. This legendary stadium here obviously also hosted 2 FIFA World Cup Finals. The one in 1950, which Brazil won, and the one in 2014, which unfortunately the Germans won. Amazing to be here at the Maracanã, one of the most iconic football venues in the world, and a place you have to see obviously when you come to Rio. And right across the legendary Maracanã we've got yet another favela. Check it out. Up in the hill. No city epitomizes the massive social inequalities between rich and poor in Brazil than Rio de Janeiro. I mean, the entire city is basically surrounded by favelas. We visited 2 of them, the biggest one, Rocinha, and obviously I've lived in Vidigal for a week. And no city in the world, no city in Brazil, is epitomizing the country's social disparities as much as Rio. Because the difference here between rich and poor is huge. I mean, all of the rich people, or not rich people, but all of the middle class and rich people live in the city center or on the beach, and all of the poor people live a completely different life here. I mean, if they don't live on the streets, they live in the favela. And life up in the favela is a different world compared to life down at Copacabana or Ipanema or something. This, guys, is where the ultras of Flamengo, Fluminense and Vasco da Gama come before the game, pre-match, to work out. Check it out. They're going to do their pull-ups here and dips before they enter the arena, before they enter the grounds. Olá. Ok. Outro lado. Outro lado. Ok. Obrigado. Gotta take advantage of this occasion now. So let's enter the Maracanã. And nearly everyone here is wearing Flamengo shirts. I see some Fluminense flags up in the distance, but nearly everyone here supports Flamengo. Flamengo, the club that Ronaldinho played for. Here inside the museum of the Maracanã, we've got the footprints of some of Brazil's biggest legends. Of course, the King, Pelé, who already passed away last year. Rest in peace, King Pelé. Then, of course, the Queen of Women's Football, Marta. Of course, the GOAT, in my eyes, Ronaldinho. And, for some reason, Neymar. Actually, looks a lot smaller from the inside than from the outside, I reckon. But I like it. What a legendary place. Usually, I don't do these stadium tours. I don't really like it. I prefer going to games. But yeah, you've got to take what you get at times. At the moment, there ain't no games here in Brazil for another month or so. So, yeah. Gotta take what you can get. One day, guys, I'll be back here for a game. One day in the future. Right, guys, now welcome to this press conference. I reckon that it was a good game today, and we need to increase the subscribers account. So if we get the subscribers account, then I'll be back for Copa America 2024. Goodbye, Maracanã. See you in the future. It's getting dark already. It's late afternoon. I woke up quite late. Well, I started exploring quite late today, as I told you before. So yeah, see you guys back in the historic center. Damn, guys, I'm starving. I haven't really eaten anything today. For breakfast, I've had like a pão com ovo, a bread with egg, basically a sandwich with some fried egg. That's all I've eaten today. That's all I've got in my system, and yeah, I've got to recharge my system. I've got to eat something. So that's the first piece of business here in the center. Find some food. In Rio, summertime coincides with the rainy season. As you can see outside, it's pouring down right now. Don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, it's pouring down right now. So I'll sit down here at this place, have some food. Ordered myself some chicken with rice, my typical Brazilian meal here, which I always have. It's going to cost me like €5, a bit under €5, so that's alright. And yeah, hopefully the rain is going to stop though, because as you guys know, if you've watched this channel, my camera ain't waterproof. That's going to be a problem when I return to Europe. So I can't be sticking around in Europe for too long, I reckon. Healthy, fit in, cheap, Brazilian foods, tops. It's tops. So I'll smash that meal now, and then we'll continue. Bon appetit. See you in a bit. This sculpture looks a bit like Gandhi. Might be Gandhi, who knows. The hell of us, guys, is a very interesting place. The oldest park. It's a park, obviously. Well, not just any park, it's the oldest park of Rio. It was built in the 17th century, and it's the oldest park of the city. So, yeah, check out the buildings here, guys. Looks quite bohemian. There we've had Another example of such, a man that dresses as a woman, a disturbed person. Quite a lot of them here in Rio, I've got to admit. And interestingly, the park has never been refurbished since its foundation in the 17th century. Another question which I wanted to answer in this video is the center of Rio safe? Because it's not the most popular place for tourists and visitors to come when they come to Rio. Well, first impressions, it's my first day obviously. It feels not dangerous, but a bit dodgier than, a bit dodgier than, let's say, Copacabana and Ipanema, because loads of homeless people around, loads of junkies, and loads of weird people. And yeah, I reckon that, like everywhere, at night you should watch out, but it's not that I feel in danger or something. It's not that it's an unsafe place. But I've got to admit that there was more police presence in Ipanema and Copacabana than here in the center. And here guys, we've got some kinds of pyramids. Interesting. That's something you don't often see in Rio, I've got to say. Wild dogs, but there are some. Usually in a mega city, or in a huge city like Rio, you won't find wild dogs running around, but here you do.
Aqui, antigamente, a princesa Leopoldina.
Leopoldina.
Esse aqui era
Some princess came here named Leopoldina.
Esse aqui era o lugar dela.
Ah, esse é o lugar. So that's Princess Leopoldina's place.
Posso te levar e te conhecer tudo, você me dá R$50 no final do turismo?
Sim.
Ninguém vai te roubar nem nada.
Okay. Não, tá bom.
Não, tô te ensinando não. Cara, tô te falando, eu conheço todo mundo aqui.
Sim.
Eu moro na rua. Qualquer pessoa te rouba aqui, mano. Se você der mole. Aqui não tem polícia não. Se o cara pegar essa câmera sua aqui, ele vai sair correndo. Eu tô falando contigo. Okay. Do amigo, eu tô em situação de
vou fazer atenção, não vou gravar por aí, vou fazer atenção.
Olha só, aqui o arco tá lá.
Right, you've heard the guy, the friendly chap there. He, like so often in these countries, told me that it was, what I just told you, quite many weird people around here, many homeless people. He told me that I should put the camera away when I walk in that direction. But we've got to walk in that direction, and we've got to do it anyway, so yeah, we've got to go in that direction, see the other places I wanted to show you guys, and also to get back to my hostel, so there's no way around. Right guys, streets here look super different. The area here looks so different to the other places in Rio that I've been to before, that we've been to before. I mean, look at the houses. It's one of the oldest places in Rio. And right ahead of us is one of Rio's most famous, but probably not that famous among most tourists, among most travelers that come here. The aqueduct, check it out. The Roman style aqueduct, which was also built here in the 18th century, I think. And yes, mixture of roughness and bohemian old school style historical center. Right behind the aqueduct, you can see that massive pyramid lurking out in front of the modern skyscrapers. That pyramid is a church. Believe it or not, it's a Catholic church. Also one of Rio's most famous buildings. But I didn't know about that actually. Most Westerners like me only know Rio for the carnival and for its beaches and its favelas. And check out that old school retro tram. Wowzers. I didn't tell you this yet, but now you see it. The aqueduct nowadays is used for the tram. Oh yes, as you can see, many weird people around. Homeless, drugged up people. So that guy was probably right. Bom dia, tudo bom? So, don't have to be scared, but you have to watch out. So if you ask me about the safety of the center, mixed. Should come and check it out, but it's definitely not the safest area to hang around at night. Well, most places in Brazil, not most, but many places in Brazil get dodgy at night. I'll tell you one thing, guys. This aqueduct here behind me is one of the roughest places, well, maybe even the roughest place I've personally seen in Rio. And I've stayed in the favela for a week, so that means something. I've not seen as many junkies in one place, as many homeless people and junkies in one place as here. So when you come here to the aqueduct, watch out for your belongings. Right guys, this Illuminati style building right behind me here, this Illuminati style temple, is a church. Believe it or not, it's a Catholic church. So let's go check it out. It's probably the most unique church you've ever seen in your life. Well, that's the case for me. Looks like some old Incan pyramid or something, but it's a church built in the 20th century. I'd be lying if I told you the year, but yeah, it's a church, a Catholic church. So let's have a sneak peek inside. Also one of Rio de Janeiro's most famous buildings, but unless you're from Brazil or South America, you probably didn't know that. Hey, another vlogger. Vlogger. YouTube, no? Yeah? I've met some Koreans, got the same camera as me. Wowzers. Now, how about that for a church, guys? In regards to the question of the center of Rio being a safe area, well, depends how you look at it. It is a lot cheaper to stay here than down at Copacabana and Ipanema, just like it's cheaper to stay in the favela. But I've got to be honest with you guys, the favela of the surroundings of the aqueduct, which is one of the most popular places to visit. I've not seen as many junkies lying around in the same place here in Rio as at the aqueduct. So when you come here, you should absolutely check this place out, and also the rest of the historic center. It's an interesting place, but yeah, watch out for your belongings, don't come too late, and yeah, as always, just watch out. So yeah, it's not dangerous, but I reckon it can be sketchy. So guys, with that being said, it's been a great day. I want to show you guys some other things here in Rio than the usual stuff that people do here. So, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like the video, I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. I've still got a few days here in Rio, and yeah, I want to finish the Brazilian adventure on a high. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao amigos, see you soon. Centro of Rio is definitely up there with the roughest places I've seen in South America. But anyways, cheers guys. Cheers to Rio, and cheers to Brazil, one of the best countries in the world. And cheers to you guys for watching. Thanks for watching. Love you all.